Hello everyone, I'm back again with another video. So this video will be about another comment which was recently made for one of my videos. The comment was that one of you guys have a whole bunch of files and you want to organize it based on the creation time. So as you can see, I have a directory called PyBear, and inside it there are a bunch of files, and there's also a directory here which also has subdirectories. So the question is, how can we organize this based on the creation time? Now, remember that this video will show how to do this for Mac users and Windows users, because for Linux users, Linux will not actually store the creation time of your file, so this code won't apply for the Linux users. Okay, so now that we have gotten that out of the way, let me show you how can we write this code. First off, we need to import a whole bunch of modules. First one is OS, then we have time, then we have date time, then we have platform, and then glob and shutil. Okay, so these are all the modules we need. Remember that the first four are built in, so you don't have to install them, but the glob and shutil, you need to use pip install. Let me just write a comment, pip install module. So you need to use pip install to get glob and shutil because they're not built in. Okay, now we create a path variable, the path of my directory. Okay, so we have that. Then we need to find out all the files in my directory. To do that, we create another variable called file names, and then we use a glob module, glob.glob, and then we pass in path plus a wildcard. So basically it means that it will take all the files inside this directory and then list them out. I can actually print it out for you so that you can see what it looks like. Alright, let me run this, and here is the list. You can see that there's this file, and then there's this file, and then this one is a directory. So it's basically listed out everything inside my directory, and it has returned it in a list format. Okay, so we have that. Now the second thing is what I want to do is basically I want to create a dictionary. So I'll create a empty dictionary at the beginning. Now the dictionary, let me comment the print statement. We don't need that anymore. Okay, so the the dictionary structure is going to be something like this. I will have file name, and I'll have creation time. So this is what I was thinking we could do. So over here, as you can see, that we already have the file name because they're all stored in this list, but now we need the creation time. How can we do that? So to do that, we'll first create a function called Makefile, and this function will take a parameter called file, the file for which you want the creation time. Okay, and this function will return to you the creation time of the Makefile. So to do this, we need to use the OS module, os.stat, and then we pass in file, and then we pass in the attribute st birth time. This one should give you the timestamp of your file. Let me actually show it to you here. So here, let me just pick up one file only. I picked up one file, and then I want to print out what this piece of code would return. Okay, there you go. So this one is actually the timestamp, but as you can see, this timestamp is not human readable. We can't do much with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the datetime module. Datetime.datetime. Inside the datetime module, you have something called from timestamp. Okay. If you print this out, you'll see that this one is much better for us to read. Put the brackets. Okay, there you go. You see, Now we have the year, we have the month, the date, and also the time, which is pretty good and something which we can handle. So this function we have for the Mac, and now we're going to make one for Windows, WinFile. Okay, this one is going to return again datetime.datetime from timestamp. The difference here is it's actually going to use the OS path get ctime function. Inside here we pass the file. So this is for Mac and this is for Windows. So now you guys are probably wondering that how do we know that where are we running our code on? So to do that we have the platform module. Okay, so what we can do is we create a variable OSSys and then platform.system. This one will return either Windows or Darwin. Let me actually print out, let me import the platform. Okay, now print out platform.system. Darwin. Now you're probably like, what is Darwin, right? Basically, Mac, the core of Mac is actually a Darwin system. So it will, if it's returns Darwin, it basically means you're using a Mac system. And if it returns Windows, you're using Windows. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to create an if statement. We're going to be like if OSys is equals Windows, then we're going to say that the operating system is Win. And if we're going to use else if statement, if the OS is equal Darwin, then we're going to say that the operating system is Mac. Alright, so now we have figured out how to find out which platform we are running. Now what we need to do is we need to get all the creation times. To do that, we use a for loop for file in file names if operating system. Oh wait, I wrote operation, I didn't write operating. Okay, wait, let me just. Okay, I don't know why I wrote operation. Anyways, operating system equals Win. Then what we're going to do is we're going to say that the file time is WinFile, and we're going to pass in our file. On the other hand, if the operating system is Mac, then obviously we're going to use the other function which we created, which is Macfile, and we pass in the file parameter. Okay, now we should have all the creation times, and now we want to save these creation times into the dictionary. But before that, over here you can see that there's the date and there's also the time. Now we're not really interested in the time, we only want the date. So what we can do is actually, let me run this piece of code one more time. I missed it. Okay. And what we can do is we can get the file date. We will take the timestamp, and then we're going to use something called strf time, and inside here we're going to ask for %d, %m, and %y. So this is basically it will return us the day, the month, and the year. There you go. So you see this one has been transformed to this one, which is actually something which we are interested in because we want to organize it based on the date, not on the time. So we're going to use this function as well. So what we're going to do is we're just going to say that the file date, the file date, we're going to take the file time, and then we're going to use the strf time function, and inside it we're going to ask for the day, time, and the year, and then we're going to save it into the file date variable. Okay, now we want to put this into the dictionary, remember? So what we're going to do is we're going to say that dictionary file, so basically this one is the key, so the key is this one, so the dictionary file is equal to the file date. So this one is the value, the key and the value. Okay, we save it. Let me just print out let me just print out the dictionary for you so you can understand what I'm doing. Let me run it. Okay, there you go. So now you see we have the file and we have the date, the file and the date, and so on. So this is a dictionary, and now it's something we can work with. Okay, before we move on to actually like moving the files and so on, I actually want to create a log string, because basically whenever you're handling files, you should have like a log file to make sure where your files are going, because in case you make a syntax error or something, you don't want your files to just go missing. So it's always good to have a log file. So I'm going to make a log string here. Okay, now we are gonna iterate through the dictionary. So for key comma value in dictionary dot items, so inside here, if not os.path.exists path value. Okay, so here basically what I want to do is I want to take all the unique creation times and then create a directory for every creation time. So basically there's going to be a directory called 2512 2018. So for this day we're going to have a directory. So basically what I'm saying, if not, is basically saying that if there isn't a directory with this name, go ahead and create a directory for this. And to make the directory, we use os make dirs. This function make dirs is making the directory, and then we pass in the path. So path plus value. But remember to always put the if not, because if you don't put this function will just if you do have a folder named this, folder named 25122018, then the make dirs function will just override it. But if you have this if not statement, it will first check if it's there. If it's not there, then it will go ahead. If it's there, it won't do anything. That way it won't overwrite any of your existing data. So just make sure you have this if not statement. Okay. After this, what we want to do is we want to take the file name, because you saw that the file name is actually the entire path, but what we're interested in is we're interested in this last part. So we'll take the file name. Remember, the file name is stored in key, so we're gonna split the key along the slash. And then we're gonna say that the file name is actually -1. Basically the last part is what we're interested in. We're going to take that last part, and then we're going to try to push those files or folders into this new folder we made here. Okay, so how do we do that? If not, once again, os.path.exists path plus value slash file name. Okay, what's happening here? Path plus value is the new directory we made here, and then we want to push the new file into this path. So but first we're checking if this folder already has this file. If this folder already has this file, don't go ahead. If it doesn't, then go ahead. we're gonna actually print out this for debugging purposes. Print it out that actually what path the file is going to. Then we're gonna check, because remember that my directory has files and directories. So we need to check if the file name is actually a directory or a file, because depending on what it is, the function is a bit different. So we're gonna do os.path.isFile. So basically isFile is gonna tell you if it's a file or not. So we're gonna pass in key because key has the file name. So if we first check if it's a file. If it is a file, we use shutil module. Inside it, we have the move function, and then in the move function, we pass in the source, which is the key, and then the destination. The destination is path of my directory, and then the value, which is the new directory we made, and then the file name. So this is the destination. And remember the log which we created here. So we want to now say log is equal to log plus key plus space moved to. So we're just saying that this file was moved to path plus value, and then slash file name. And okay, remember to put a new line, because maybe just put 2 new lines. Wait. Just put in 2 new lines so that it's easier. They're not all like in one line. It's easier to read. Okay, so now the log will actually have some sort of a debugging statement saying that this file was moved to this location. Okay, now what if it is actually not a file? What if it's a directory? Then you use the else if statement. os.path.isdir. Isdir basically means that it's a directory. We pass in the key. If that's the case, then we're going to use shutil copy tree. The copy tree, we need to again pass in the source and the destination. The destination once again says path value slash file name. And this is actually like a directory name, but it's just a variable, so it's okay. All right. One more thing you need to know is the move function will basically move the file and it won't leave any backup. But this one will actually just copy the file. It will actually leave the original file, but we don't want that, so we just are going to use another function called rm_tree, and we're just going to remove the original file, because once this one has been executed, this original file will this original directory will have moved to the new directory location. Once that's done, we're just going to remove using the rm_tree function. And now we also want to keep adding to our log file. We we can just copy this line, because oops, okay, it's just better write it. It's taking forever to copy that. Move to this one is just a log file. This is quite essential actually, because in case you make some mistakes, you can just go to the log file and see exactly where your file has been moved to. Okay, yeah, that's about it actually, because yeah. Oh wait, we need to save this information of the log file into a information. We just save it somewhere. Wait, we already have the path, right? So I don't need to rewrite this. So path, let's call it log text. So inside my directory there will be a file called log text as f, and we open it in the write mode because we want to write some information inside it. Save it. Okay, one more time. So this is what we have. Once we run this, if there is no error, then most likely it should. Okay, there you go. So you see now we have a whole bunch of files, a whole bunch of directories based on different dates. So let's open this. So you have one file here, open this, you have one file here, two files here. So basically based on when they were created. Okay, so here you have, wait, which one was this? Oh, so this one was created on the 16th of February. So over here you have a file, you have the directory, and you can see all the contents of that directory have been moved to this directory. And another thing is, wait, let's see this. Okay, this one also has all the files. Okay, so remember the log text I was talking about? That's also here, and here you can see that this file was moved to this location. So this one is actually like basically giving you some information on where all your files have been moved to. So in case you come in here and then you can't find your file, you can just go to the log file and be like, okay, where did my file go? So this is quite useful. I think you should definitely have this in your code. Okay, let me just run through this one more time. So basically, we wanted to create a dictionary with a file name and the creation time. So for the file name, we listed out all the files using the glob module. And then to get the creation time, for Mac and Windows, there are two different ways of getting it. So we use these two functions, Makefile and WinFile, and then we use a platform module to find out on which system, on which OS we're running. Depending on what our OS is, we use the different functions, and then we use the creation time to create the dictionary. After that, we will we'll iterate through the dictionary, and and then we'll check if the different creation times have a directory. If they don't have a directory created, we'll create a directory like this, and then after that we're going to go inside the directory and check if this directory has a file. If it doesn't have that file, we just move the file and then we add to our log file that we have moved this file to the directory, and we're going to do the same for the dictionary. We're going to do the same for the directory, and for that we use is file and is directory, and then finally we will just write down all the information into the log text. So yeah, that's about it. I think it's a pretty useful code. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please comment below. If you have any other questions, please comment. If you have enjoyed the video, like and share with your friends, and please subscribe. It will really help my channel. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again.